the President of the United States.
My administration has been steadily and successfully fighting communism. There is no doubt that communists have tried to worm their way into the government service. So, in 1947, I set up the Employee Loyalty Program. This was a real program to meet a real situation. I gave the FBI, the greatest counter-espionage organization in the world, complete charge of checking over 2 million employees. The FBI, headed by J.Edgar Hoover, is alert, vigorous, and skillful. It is watching the communists closely and systematically protecting our internal security. We have prosecuted, and we shall prosecute, subversive activities wherever we find them.
I did not know that the FBI had been following me until 11 years ago when I was 65 years of age. And I got the first 4,500 pages of it. It seemed to deal entirely with my early work in integration and housing. With those first pages, I went to the American Civil Liberties Union and asked them, and they were interested, and they filed a lawsuit on my behalf. In the second year of the lawsuit, the FBI came forward and said they had just found 30,000 more pages. We look at those, it seems to be dealing with my work working for the abolition of the House Committee on Un-American Activities. Then, 2 years later, the FBI said they had just found 70,000 more pages. And at that point, the judge was quite upset. No more of this just found business. What is the bottom line? The FBI then told the judge that they had a total of 132,000 pages of surveillance on me over 38 years. In fact, the files will show as many as 8 agents a day following me on shifts, day after day after day, pages after pages of wiretaps. Every time I left Los Angeles on a field trip, you will have a memorandum from J.Edgar Hoover going out to all the agents in all the cities to which I'm to travel to. Here is Wilkinson's travel schedule. Indicate the time of departure, the flight, and so on, and where I'm to go, where I'm to speak. Your job is to disrupt. I have another document telling how the FBI had disrupted my work. At the very end, it said, this file should be read only to those agents involved in the counterintelligence program. And after it has been so read, it should be personally destroyed, and I, Mr. Hoover, should be told that it has been so destroyed. I think the greatest irony in reviewing these monstrous FBI files is that, to quote them, it does not appear that Wilkinson has shown the willingness or capability of engaging in any act which would significantly interfere with or be a threat to the survival and effective operation of our national government. That was their own judgment the time they were investing millions of dollars in 132,000 pages of surveillance and disruption of my work. The records shown my story with the FBI has to begin with housing. We had a dream that Los Angeles would become the first city in America free of slums.
curve. There's a ground ball hit down inside the line, going out to left field. The ball bounced away from the direction of left center field and making the turn at second. And he is going on to third as the throw is to second.
All of that dream was ended by this beautiful stadium. This was never supposed to have been built here. Rather, it had been selected by the city of Los Angeles to be a massive housing project. That was our dream. In this area right here, there were to be 3,500 families brought in from the slums of LA. The program was attacked, first of all, by the people who owned the slums, and then there was a teamwork between the FBI, the Los Angeles Police Department, Chief of Police, and others to try to discredit the housing program and to discredit it through me. In the final proceeding before taking of the site, I was answering questions regarding rat infestation when suddenly the questions were asked me, what organizations, political or otherwise, have you belonged to since 1931? Now, I had signed every loyalty oath there was, and I was ready to regurgitate it one more. And it was a totally improper question I refused to answer. The moment I refused to answer that question, the city council moved in, the FBI moved in, the chief of police moved in, and the program was essentially scrapped at that point. I was removed, then the mayor was removed, and the new mayor came in and turned this wonderful site, which the taxpayers had paid $7 million in acquiring, and was turned over to the Dodgers, where it became the ballpark.
Of the seventh inning, the Dodgers leading 6-3. The 1-2 pitch is a curve, pulled by, out into right field. It's in there for a base hit, and the Dodgers pick up another run.
As a result, I became totally unemployable. It was a full year later before I was finally able to get a job as a janitor for a Quaker family in a department store in Pasadena, where I was given the job of cleaning a store, cleaning the rugs, cleaning the show windows, all perfectly fine labor, but certainly not what I was out to do. Everything negative in my life, which I just took as myself saying the McCarthy Era, something of that kind. Everything that was negative in my life, everything that was unfortunate in my life, I can now trace back to something that was directly orchestrated by the FBI under Mr. Hoover. In fact, it is my opinion that when the era historically is written, it will no longer be referred to as the McCarthy Era. It will be called the J.Edgar Hoover Era. Certainly the most frightening documents I obtained from the FBI was the fact that I was due to have been assassinated in this house directly across the street from me here. The FBI record reads from the agent in charge in Los Angeles to J.Edgar Hoover, subject Frank Wilkinson. The name of the person who's to kill me is blacked out. So it begins with to assist in an assassination of Frank Wilkinson when he speaks tonight at a meeting sponsored by the American Civil Liberties Union. It is then a place where it is blacked out again. Somebody will stake out the residence to witness the assassination. The following day, March 5th, 1964, the document reads again, agent in charge in Los Angeles to J.Edgar Hoover, subject Frank Wilkinson. Name crossed out. No attempt was made on the life of Wilkinson last night. We'll watch for further developments. The document clearly shows that the FBI knew in advance that I was to be killed in this house that night. They were here. They were staked out, waiting for it to happen. Would they have protected me? Goodness no. They would have driven away. No one would have ever known. just a footnote in the paper, somebody killed at a private meeting in a house in Sherman Oaks.